So let's do another situation where we square a binomial. Let's pick something really, really simple. Let's take 3x plus 2 squared. Okay, and we can do this in a number of ways. First, outer, inner, last, distributive law. We have to know that this is equal to this. But then it doesn't really matter. I'll do the two outer terms, the inner terms, and the last. And I'm noticing something. I'm noticing a pattern here. Notice that these two middle terms are the same when I did this, and then the last time I did a square, I had inner terms which are the same. And is there a reason for that? I mean, first of all, let's take the answer to this, which is this. But the answer is yes, there's a reason that we're seeing that. That's because whatever we have, if we have a sum of two things, so A could be anything and B could be anything, and I square it, this is going to be A plus B times A plus B, which is going to be equal to A squared plus AB plus BA and plus B squared. Now, for our purposes, and for anything we're going to see in this entire class, A times B is the same thing as B times A. And yes, there's some interesting math where that changes when you guys get to linear algebra and matrices and quaternions and all sorts of fancy stuff. But for all of our purposes in this class, A times B is going to be the same as B times A. So that means these two things are the same. And I can just rewrite this as A squared plus AB plus AB plus B squared, and we get A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. And that is what this squared is equal to. So we are always going to get the same thing in the middle twice. So what we could do is we can just make this into a rule. We can say A plus B squared is equal to A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. And if we use that as a rule, I'll rewrite it right here in one line. A plus B squared happens to be equal to A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Now we can use that on this directly. So what am I going to get? Well, I'm going to get the first thing squared. So that's going to be 9x squared because it's 3x times 3x. And then plus 2 times A times B, the first thing plus the second thing. So I'm going to get 3x times 2, which I could write out, or I could just write out as 6x. And then plus B squared, 4. 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. And notice that is the same thing that we got right here, because once again, it doesn't matter which method we use. It's all good. As long as we don't make any mathematical mistakes, we will always get to the same answer. So what we've introduced is a formula for squaring a binomial. And it might come in handy. It might save us a little time. If we forget it, we can do it out by hand. It is not the end of the world. It will all be okay. But maybe there's more formulas that we can work out that would make other things easier as well. And we should keep that in mind as we proceed with performing different manipulations on our polynomial.